Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. This is still the Energy Outlook Live from Lagos. Okay, so our topic today is accelerating gas investment for Nigeria. With an estimated 600 trillion cubic feet of untapped gas, Nigeria has huge potential around gas, but yet the issue continues to be investment. Well, what are some of the challenges? Where are we? And what can indeed be done to salvage this? My guest today is Osaze Isesele. He's Director of Events and Country Rep at the Gas Investment Forum. He has been driving quite a lot of conversation within the gas space, and it's a pleasure to have him in the program. Osaze, how are you doing?
I'm very fine, Wisdom. Thanks so much for the opportunity to be here. Thank you.
Nice. We've not seen in a while, so it's good to catch you sometime like this.
Right here. Thank you so much. I appreciate
Nice. So, our topic today is gas and investment.
it. Yeah.
And I know that, and by the way, congratulations on your election to the Nigerian Gas Association.
Thank you very
as
much.
Publicity Secretary. When is your swearing in, by the way?
I'll leave that for the NGA to decide and tell that to the general
that'll
public.
be very soon. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. The Gas Investment Forum. You've championed this for quite a while now. Osaze, tell us about the forum. Really, what are you about? What do you do?
Okay, for us, personally, always talking about natural gas and investment in the space is always very exciting. But we need to go beyond the euphoria, the excitement, and what it portends economically for us, and to begin to do real groundwork to see that we move from where we are to where we need to be. Nigeria has made a lot of progress, if I should put it that way. We're in the middle of the decade of gas agenda already, but the momentum needs to be strengthened. We need to go beyond where we are currently. And of course, you already know the story. President Muhammadu Buhari, late President Muhammadu Buhari, came in and with all of the industry stakeholders, bettered the decade of gas agenda, which has been on. And thankfully, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration has also been able to strengthen the momentum, of what the decade of gas entail. So it's simply, we've had several plans before this time in Nigeria. We've had the Nigeria Gas Master Plan.
And that was in 2008.
Yes, we've had a lot of policy instruments and frameworks before this time. But the decade of gas is quite special because it is a collaboration of both the public and the private sector, government working hand in hand with the private sector to see that we accelerate investment. In fact, the fulcrum of the decade of gas agenda is investment and infrastructure development.
So when would you say we are going to turn our potential in gas to real economic value?
That was why in the beginning I said that we need to go beyond the excitement, because like you just mentioned, Nigeria has over, when you declared, is about say 290 CF, but when you add other undeveloped resources, we're looking at about 600.
600.
Right. Now, we need to, reserves do not develop themselves.
Okay.
We need to go beyond just talking about this is the resources we have. Because like I've always said, I've been of the school of thought that despite the global energy transition, I believe that Africans, and especially Nigeria, if you look at the global the gas exporting countries forum, GCF has a global gas outlook report that it puts out there almost every year. When I looked at the 2025 report, it shows a lot of promise for Nigeria as far as harnessing our gas resources is concerned. But we need to go beyond that promise and start talking about real-time production. We need to look at the timelines we have set for ourselves, because by the time you wake up today, wake up the next morning, wake up the next day, we are in 2030 and the decade of gas is gone. So what else are we going to...
So at what stage, where are we with the decade of gas right now, as of today?
I would say that there's a lot that has been done, that is going on. For example, if you look at the reports that have come out from the Office of the Special Advisor to the President on Energy, you will see that the government has taken some pivotal steps in terms of ensuring tax incentives. You know, there's been a lot of there's also the very prominent one that seeks to ensure investment clarity around LPG, CNG. Of course, the presidential CNG initiative is there. Before this time, it used to be a thing of talk, you know. But then this current administration came in and said, let's start to work on CNG and see that we move to where we ought to be. So the challenges are there quite enormous.
Which we'll talk about.
In terms of gas utilization, Nigeria, of course, is doing well in terms of exporting. Yeah, but we need to also deepen gas utilization, and we must not rest. We must not rest on our guard. We must do what it takes to move it. So to answer your question, we haven't really done so much, but so much can be done. But we're already taking that steps, and that is why platforms like the Gas Investment Forum,
which was what I was coming to now.
Right.
So let's come back to the Gas Investment Forum. Because I want to connect that to our topic now,
Okay.
you know, accelerating investment.
Yeah.
So the forum, you set it up a while back to
Yeah.
talk about things around investment.
Yes.
So where are we with investment within the gas space? What are some of the issues we are still having to get, you know, more investment for the gas sector?
Yes. So there's been, like I said, there's been some progress, but there's been some issues which we need to also look at. So number one, very recently I was in the virtual meeting of industry stakeholders, where we also looked at the issues of gas pricing and strengthening the policy frameworks, right? Because whether you like it or not, investors need clarity. Investors need to, and then but then if you understand the natural gas business, you understand that profitability takes some quite, when you inject capital, it's not like other businesses where you get your money or your returns immediately, right? So there has to be some it's quite a large scale, let me use that word, it's quite a large scale kind of financing business in terms of pushing projects, right? So but then our policy frameworks, the turnaround time for projects to be completed needs to be addressed, right? We just celebrated AKK pipeline crossing about 80% completion. OB3 is there, you know. UTM FLNG also have this their FID that has been, you know, passed already. So what we need to do is in the word of our topic today, accelerate, right? There's progress. We're making.
So how do we make it faster?
How do we make it faster?
What are some of the challenges? Is this a government issue? Is it a private sector issue?
Is it financing?
Is it financing?
Exactly.
If it's financing, where do we get the money from? There have been substantial amount of investment coming to the energy sector already. Which of them have gone into gas? So these are some of the I want to put before you now to say, what are some of the issues we need to be looking at? Okay,
like I said, number one of the issues we need to look at is we need to strengthen collaboration between the public and the private sector.
Okay.
Right? When I say collaboration, I've heard a lot of industry people say this, that in the gas industry, we work in silos. So there's a project here, there's a project there.
But that's what the decade of gas secretariat is supposed to be doing.
Yes, and as far as I know, that collaboration is ongoing. Like, for example, Gas Investment Forum enjoys the partnership of the Decade of Gas Secretariat, right? They've been able to open their office to say, this is what we are doing, right? And of course, at the Gas Investment Forum, their representative will be there to talk more on the level they have gotten to and what is left and what needs to be done. So like I said earlier on, the private sector and the public sector, we need to find a very robust and seamless handshake, right? And that will happen when we have periodic engagements. That will happen where we have platforms for them to always come together and engage and look at project timelines and look at projects that are needed to be on stream, right? And then also, like I said earlier on, regulatory clarity is part of it. Investors need to seek clarity as to what the landscape is about. And for as much as I know, the NUPRC and the NMDPR, which is tasked with that responsibility, is doing their best to ensure that investors also have access to this information. And that is where also Gas Investment Forum comes in, that we are also able to create that table where everybody sits at the table to say, this is what we are doing. If you have issues as regards your projects, as regards your business timelines and all of that, you can always reach out. So we've been able to see how we can get that platform going.
Let's talk about the Gas Investment Forum for a bit.
Okay.
Now, you've done the forum for 2 years.
Yeah.
What have you achieved? What have been your success, if you say?
Okay, for us, the fact that the industry is beginning to pay attention to the forum, for us is a success. Because like I said, till tomorrow, I don't know of any energy investment conference that strictly focuses on gas. Right, we have a lot of energy conferences out there, and their programming moves from different areas of the sector. But for us, we have decided to say we believe in the decade of gas agenda. We believe in Nigeria being able to harness its gas resources for economic development, to create jobs, for sustainable development, and all of that.
Okay.
And for us, one of our successes is that we are beginning to create that synergy that the industry needs, right? We're beginning to see that attention. People pay attention to say, we actually need a platform like this. So it's first to recognize that there was no platform.
There was no platform.
Now we recognize that we need actually a platform like this where we can always engage. Why the government is leading its own affairs, in terms of making the business environment friendly and conducive, the private sector is also saying this is what we want to do in terms of supporting the government. So first success for us is that the industry, that our platform is no longer just an energy investment conference, right?
Okay.
Gas Investment Forum is now being positioned and seen as an industry coalition. And that is what you can see from the kind of strategic partners that we have across board.
Let's talk about investment, because many experts have said the kind of investment that the sector needs will be long-term financing for the sector. But others raise the issue of incentives. Do you think the current investment incentive are strong enough for long-term financing?
I would say that it's not a walk in the park, right? Okay. That's why we have to also at the same time appreciate these baby steps and at the same time now consolidate. So like I said earlier on, last year there were a lot of incentives. Those things were not there before this time. Like the incentives the tax incentives on LPG, CNG, and the likes of that. They were not there before this time. So that is why I say that those baby steps need to be applauded, and then we now begin to consolidate. So whether or not they are enough, we need to also be thinking of what do we now do from here, right? And aside that, it will interest you to know that most of the players in the industry may not even know about, or even new entrants into the industry may not even know that these provisions exist. These provisions have been made by government, right? But that constant engagement, that constant promotion of awareness, right? To say these are the provisions that the government has made that you can harness, will help us, create a more robust sort of incentives that investors will now become more comfortable with. But when that platform is not there to engage, you don't know what the feedback is from, but from what we have seen so far, the latest tax incentives that has been released, like there was one on non-associated gas. And the moment that was declared by the government, I wouldn't mention their name, but then an international, one of the IOCs saw that was an incentive, and they became the first to partner with the national company to create a gas project that will sort, of make them enjoy that leverage that has been created by the government. So, like I said earlier on, progress is being made, but we have to accelerate. We have to make use of the good resources that we have to ensure that our people have gas in their homes. We accelerate gas-based industries and gas for export, and
Amazing.
we keep moving on as far as natural gas is concerned in Nigeria.
Let's talk about CNG.
Okay.
CNG is fast growing.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to say I was in Abuja a while back, and I see that some taxis have fully changed to CNG. Even in Lagos here,
Yeah, yeah.
some of the downfall buses are running on CNG. So this is really
Happening, yeah.
It's really happening.
Yeah, yeah.
But do you, if you would assess the progress with that, what would your thoughts be around it, and where do you think we need to quickly act if indeed we want to adopt CNG?
Okay, to be fair enough, like I said earlier on, before this time, compressed natural gas it was there. But we didn't think
We didn't focus on it.
we didn't think of
Didn't pay
moving
attention
it,
to
thank
it.
you, to ensure that we use it for transportation.
And it was cheaper because the taxi guy said he fills his gas like 5,000 naira.
Thank
and
you.
is able to drive the whole day. He makes like 50,000 naira, in a day if he drives from morning till evening, and that's quite a lot of money. But he fills the gas with it's 5,000 naira.
Yeah, so you have just corroborated my thoughts. I have also had engagement with taxi drivers as well, and very recently one told me that it's very cost effective, but the challenge is, of course, the demand has to be there. So at the end of the day, it's part of what I'm going to also talk about. Like a few days back, I think we saw that the investments in the CNG space has hit about $900 million, figures quoted by the Presidential CNG Initiative.
Okay.
So that takes me back to say that before this time, this wasn't there, right? Like people has always said that we are just realizing that we are more of a gas nation than an oil nation. So for me, to answer your question, I would say that, like I said earlier on, these challenges does exist. So the driver I was speaking with has also brought to my notice, or has also shared his own thoughts, which has also reinforced the fact that there's a challenge. And one of the challenge is in terms of creating that demand. For example, in Lagos State, how many CNG stations do we have? In Edo State, in the Niger Delta?
No, but there seems to be demand. The issue might just be affordability. Is it affordability or accessibility?
I think accessibility and availability. And that is where investments come in. So we need more investments in CNG mother and daughter stations and all of that. So why the demand is there, why the demand has been created. And another thing is promotion of awareness. A lot of people need to also know that this is possible.
The kits to convert are very expensive. I was shocked to hear it's around 800, 700,000 naira to convert from petrol to CNG. That kit, that conversion kit, that doesn't make it. That's a barrier.
That is where the government and the private sector needs to now come together and sit down. Of course, that is why we have platforms like the Gas Investment Forum, where these issues are raised to say why we understand that Nigerians are beginning to buy into the CNG movement. There are challenges as regards availability. There's when I say availability now, I'm talking about a proliferation of CNG stations all around, just as the same way we have for PMS, for AGU and the other products, right? So we need to also look at it and say we need more. That means we need more investment in those areas. We need more private sector involvement in those areas. We need more people to wear their thinking caps to say, how do we, because when I was in Abuja recently, I saw a lot of conversion centers everywhere. So that is already becoming a business opportunity for people who want to
have the product in Abuja. They struggle to get the product.
Of course, we will come to all of that, looking at subnational gas economies. So all of these things tie together. We have the AKK pipeline, which is on, which when it comes fully on stream,
by next year,
will provide natural gas to the northern region. So we need...
So let me ask you now, how would you assess the job of the presidential CNG initiative? What's your assessment of their efforts so far?
Okay, I would say they are doing quite an excellent job because, like I said earlier on, before this time, there was nothing like CNG for transportation, right? Now they have been taxed with that responsibility, and in just 2 years, they are recording over $900 million in investments. We can see that though the pace is slow, people are beginning to convert. Now we even have taxi drivers say that I enjoy the benefit. We see the other move with donation of CNG buses, which at the end of the day contributes to environmental sustainability. So in my own personal assessment, I think that they are doing an excellent job. We need to just continue to strengthen, those other loopholes, those other areas that have challenges. We need to continue to engage, with them, and that is why the Gas Investment Forum is here. Thankfully, the PCNGI is one of our partners, and we're also seeing how we can bring them on board and let them be aware of these challenges, right? To see how we can have that collaboration, because it's not something we are going to do working in silos. That collaboration has to be there. So to answer your question, I think excellently they have done. Even before this time, it took the previous administration a long time to even assent to the CNG initiative. So first of all, that is even a success that we've recorded, that yes, this current administration has been able to assent to the CNG initiative, and this is just 2 years down the line.
So
You're
confident that
I am confident that if we continue to engage, right, that is why we as Gas Investment Forum, we are working with governments together with the public, together with the private sector, to see how we can look at these challenges, and accelerate investments in the sector and ensure that these challenges are brought to the barest minimum.
We're wrapping up now because of time, but
Okay.
I wanted to ask you, I saw some of the speakers that would be at the Gas Investment Forum, 7th and 8th of October. I wanted to just ask, what would be some of the key focus with the conversation based on some of the issues you raised now?
Yeah.
You can see you're raising issues, and challenges and some bottlenecks where we are still not clear.
Yeah.
And there needs to be engagement. So where would be your focus at the forum?
So we've worked on a robust programming this year, and we're looking at charting new opportunities for investment, growth, and industrialization. So our 3 pillars this year is looking at investment, looking at growth, and then looking at industrialization. So we're also looking at
What about
upstream.
gas to power? I mean,
Of course.
power is suffering because of gas also.
Yes, but
Is gas to power part of this conversation?
Yes, gas to power is part of the conversation. So there are some challenges that are tied to the gas to power nexus,
Okay.
And which I believe that the Decade of Gas Secretariat is working actively with the government and the private sector to see how that is resolved. There's been some issues with,
The DG of the Secretariat is Edubong.
Yes, Edubong, who's going to be at Gas Investment Forum.
Okay.
He would also share some light as to what the Decade of Gas Secretariat has done so far, in terms of accelerating investments in the country. So this year, our programming has been quite robust. We're looking at upstream, we're looking at local content, we're looking at downstream, we're looking at gas to power. But this year, we're looking at technical and commercial areas when it comes to investors having more clarity. And
there is positioning within the West Africa gas hub.
Yes.
I think we are not talking so much about that yet, maybe because we have a lot of internal issues to resolve. Just quickly as we wrap up, what are some of your thoughts around what we need to do regionally? Is there any opportunity there also?
Yes, for us, because Nigeria is of course the Africa's largest natural gas market, as it were. So what we are doing this year is to position Nigeria as the central hub for West African region. Right, so we're expecting participation from several countries across West Africa, both physically and virtually. And that is also to ensure that beyond positioning, there is some sort of regional cooperation. Right, like I said earlier on, part of the problem is that we have to collaborate more than we are doing right now. So for us, we see that space as an untapped space, and that is why we are trying to see how we can also focus the conversation across West Africa. To say, of course, the West Africa gas pipeline is there and is ongoing, but for us, we want to see how we can strengthen regional cooperation, because we know that it is a pivotal step for us to be able to harness our resources as a country. And then, like I said earlier on, I believe in the school of thought that not just Nigeria, but the entire Africa needs to do what it needs to do to ensure that our natural gas resources is harnessed for economic impact and profitability.
Okay, what we both agree is Nigeria, there's potential and there's value that we need to harness quickly. Demands are rising,
Of
but
course.
availability is a major issue that we need to solve, and also the scalability,
Of
so that
course.
there will be enough access.
Of
This is what
course.
I mean. We both agree on all of these points, and we'll continue to interrogate some of these points on the program
Yeah.
to get more insight into it. Osaze Isesele is the country rep Gas Investment Forum. Indeed, must thank you for your time on the program. We
Thank you
wish
so
you all
much.
the best for the forum event, 7th and 8th of October. We'll be monitoring. We'll be there to make sure that all what they are going to say, they are going to follow.
Of course. So for us,
Yeah.
we have two actions that we want to do after the conference.
Okay, quickly, 30 seconds.
Of course, there is a communique that we are going to issue after the conference, and of course, distribute to government and the people that matter. We are
right.
also going to work on a a comprehensive event summary report,
Okay.
state of affairs report.
We are going to track
which will
everybody,
also
so
show.
let them know that Energy Outlook will be there to monitor what they are saying, and then we'll follow through. If we don't see progress, we'll make sure that we'll get the answers from them. Osaze,
Yes.
thank you so much for your time
Thank
on
you
the
so much
program.
for the opportunity.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
All right, this is much we can take for this week. Accelerating, gas investment for Nigeria. Such a critical conversation, and so just Nigeria's gas potential is vast, like we have seen, we've discussed. But it is only through decisive collective action that we can transform that potential into prosperity, both for our people at home and for our position on the global stage. This is much we can take. And this quote I just read now is by Enikin, by the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Ikperikpe Ekpo, who had made this at a related event earlier this year. Thank you so much for your time. Until next week, same time, same station. In case you missed the episode or other episodes, you can catch it on our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV. My name is Wisdom Chap Jumbo. You can follow me across all social media platforms at W Chap Jumbo. Let's keep the conversation going. Until next week, do have a lovely weekend.